So can you hear me, everyone, online? Am I audible? Can you confirm anyone?
Yes,
Sure.
Yeah, fine. So we already completed 3 demos, right? DevOps introduction, cloud introduction, and technical questions, general questions. Fine. Yeah. Anyone newly joined today, first session? Anyone new guys joined today?
yes,
Can you
sir. This is Swati. This is the first demo I joined.
first session you joined? Okay.
Yeah.
You will get the
I-
recording sessions. Okay. So I'll provide you recording session. And
Okay.
you can contact our admin. Mani, can you provide the number here? I think you have a number, right? Institute number.
Yeah, I have.
Fine, fine. You will get the recording sessions, right? 3 sessions. So others,
Okay.
anyone new guys joined here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's me, Arif Mohammed.
Arif also joined. Okay, fine. So our admin provide you recording sessions, previous demo recording sessions. You can go through that, and you can, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
today is the 4th session, which is a very important session. Yeah, which is SDLC, Software Development Lifecycle. Okay. So before going to start working on real-time activities or tools, DevOps tools, and a cloud platform. So first we need to understand this process, SDLC, Software Development Lifecycle. Yeah, this is very, very important process. Okay. Yeah, every organization, they're using currently Agile methodology, right? Yeah. So anyone having idea what is Agile? What is Agile, anyone? It is a parallel development, right? So before Agile, we used to use waterfall methodology. What is waterfall, anyone? Waterfall is the sequential development, right? So in waterfall methodology, development will not move forward, okay? Because middle of the activity, if any issues happened, any hot fixes happened, right? Development should be stopped, right? So we need to roll back and we need to continue, or else we need to complete the task and we need to fix the hot fixes, right? So here in SDLC, in parallel development, Agile methodology, so in case any hot fixes happen, so we don't need to stop the development activity. So parallelly, so other hotfix team, they can work on the fixes, they resolve the issues, and the development will be, it will not be stopped. Development will not be stopped in Agile. Okay, fine. So this is Agile methodology, Agile, right? So what is Agile? Agile is a parallel development. Agile is a parallel development, right? So currently most of the project teams, they're using Agile methodology, right? So because in waterfall, development will not move forward. Development, so for example, sequentially, one by one, front end, back end, UAT, databases, right? So one by one, we need to move on in waterfall methodology. But here, in Agile methodology, parallelly, right? So one application divided into bits and pieces. That bits and pieces, we can call it as sprint. That bits and pieces, we can call it as sprint. What is sprint, anyone? Sprint is a timeline. Sprint is a timeline, right? What is timeline, anyone? For example, one sprint started today on Monday, 10th, right? So by next Sunday EOD, that sprint should be completed. That is 1 week sprint. 1 month sprint. For example, 10th November, one sprint started today. By next month, 9th EOD, that should be completed, which is a monthly sprint, right? Weekly sprint, monthly sprint, right? So the sprint can be 1 week to 1 month. Clear, right, everyone? Fine. So now in Agile methodology, so requirement gathering first. First we gather the requirement, right? So client give the requirement. As per the requirement, yeah, developers, they start working on the requirement. They gather the requirement. So front end should be like this. Back end should be, these are the APIs required, database, which database required, right? Yeah, they collect the information. So after that, they start working on the designing. After that, they start working on the application development. So after that, testing should be happened. So after that, Yeah, deployment will be happened. So finally, the application will be reviewed. Okay. So this is the actual process we follow in real-time projects. Okay. Now, look at this. Yeah. So these are the 7 layers available. 7 layers, right? So while working on parallel development, so developers, they need to plan, code, build, test, release, deploy, operate. Okay. So here, planning, requirement, finalization. They can plan the activity. Updates, new changes, architecture, design, right? Task assignment. So timeline, finalization. So these are all they can work on first, right? Before going to develop the application, right? So once they gather all the information, so after that development, right? So they start the development. So parallelly here, so the development, whatever the application they developed, that should be built by using Jenkins, right? So here, developers, they plan, they develop the application. As a DevOps engineer, what we will do, we build the application by using CICD tools. CICD tools we have, which are Jenkins, TeamCity, different tools are available in the market. So Jenkins is a popular tool. So 95% of the project teams are using Jenkins. Okay. So after the testing, release, deploy, operate. So while working on Git and Jenkins, will go very deep dive. So this, yeah, these stages practically we can configure. I'll show you. It's very easier, very simple. Okay. Yeah. Now look at this. Normal in real-time projects, developer develop the code in their local workspace, right? So here they plan, first they gather the requirement. After that, they start the development. Okay. Developers, this is the development activity. This is development activity. Yeah. Developer develop the code in their local workspace. What is workspace, anyone? Workspace. So workspace is nothing but, yeah, where we start our work, right? So it can be local system, either laptop or desktop, right? So developer develop the code in their local workspace, which is, we can say, Git local, right? So developer A and developer B, both are working on the same requirement. Right? Yeah. Once the development is completed, they push the code to remote server, remote repository, which is GitHub. So this is a remote repository. Yeah. So we are discussing about CI/CD process. CI/CD full form is continuous integration, continuous deployment or delivery, or else we can say build and release process. Fine. Yeah. So here, developer develop the code in their local workspace. We can say that is a local Git, right? In local Git, developer develop the code. Once development is completed, they push the code to remote repository, which is GitHub. So basically, what is Git, anyone? We discussed already. What is Git, Andy? Anyone? Git is the first session, demo session we discussed, right? Git is
repository.
Yes. Repository, tool, or version control tool. Git is a repository tool or version control tool. What is repository? Where we store our data, where we store our source code, right? Developer, they store the data in their local repository, right? So repository is nothing but where we store our source code, is nothing but repository. Version control. What is version control, anyone? It track the changes over time. For example, two developers are working on the same requirement. So here developer A is working on front end UI, right? So every application is having front end, back end database, right? So developer A is working on front end UI development, right? So here developer B is working on API development, back end. Okay. So who is doing what? How can we track? By using version control system, right? Version control tool. So based on the comments, Git allows you to provide the comments here, right? So based on the comments, we can track the changes, right? Here, Git allow the comments like who did changes, when did changes, and what purpose did changes. So based on these comments, Git will track the changes, right? So who did changes? For example, Ram did changes. Ram did changes. When did changes? Yeah, on 10th September, 10th November. Yeah, so at 8 p.m., 8 p.m. IST did some changes. 8 p.m. IST did some changes, right? And what purpose did changes? Due to some production issue, did some changes, right? Git always track the changes, right? Who did changes, when did changes, what purpose did changes. So based on these comments, Git will track the changes, right? So for example, in real-time projects, multiple developers work on their local workspace, local Git. Who is doing what? How can we track? By using version control system, we can track the changes. Who did what? We can easily track. Understanding right, everyone? Git is a repository tool or version control tool. Repository is nothing but where we store our source code. It is nothing but repository. Version control, it track the changes over time, right? Who did changes, when did changes, what purpose did changes. Based on these comments, Git tracks the versioning. Clear, right, everyone? Yeah. Once the development is completed, so the code will be pushed to the remote repository. So our code is here. Our code is here, right? Once the code is moved to remote repository, yeah. So in this flow, our next tool here is Jenkins. Jenkins is the CICD tool. So what is Jenkins? What Jenkins will do? Jenkins is the CICD tool. Continuous integration, continuous deployment or delivery tool, right? Yeah. So what is the importance of Jenkins here, right? So Jenkins is the mediator tool. Jenkins is the mediator tool. In DevOps, we have multiple tools are there. All the tools are individual tools. One tool will not communicate other tool. Jenkins is the mediator tool. It will integrate all the tools, will communicate all the tools by installing plugins. For example, so our code is available in GitHub, right? So this code I want to pull from GitHub to Jenkins. So if you want to pull the code from GitHub to Jenkins, very first thing we need to install one plugin, GitHub plugin in Jenkins. So what is plugin? Plugin is a package software, right? So this GitHub plugin we can install in Jenkins. Once we install this plugin in Jenkins, then Jenkins start communicating with the GitHub. So plugin is the software, Andy. It's kind of driver, just like driver. Okay. Once we install this plugin, Jenkins start communicating with the GitHub. So after that, in Jenkins, what we will do? We create jobs. And once we create the jobs and we trigger this job, we create the job, we trigger the job. Once we trigger this job, this code will be pulled from GitHub to Jenkins. Okay. So whatever the code we pull from GitHub to Jenkins, which is, we can say, raw code. Raw code is nothing but unstructured code, unformatted code. So this raw code we cannot directly deploy onto respective target servers. So here, finally, this code should be deployed onto respective application servers, right? So this is, we can say, app server or a Tomcat server. Right? So finally, we need to deploy this code on app server or Tomcat server, right? So this raw code will not understand by application servers, right? So here Jenkins is the mediator tool. It will integrate all the tools. It will communicate all the tools by installing plugins, right? So if you want to integrate Tomcat with the Jenkins, we need to install plugin here. Any tool you want to integrate with Jenkins, we need to install plugin here, right? So whatever the code we pull from GitHub to Jenkins by triggering the job, this code is raw code. So raw code is the unstructured code, unformatted code. So this raw code will not understand by application server, Tomcat server. That is why what we have to do, we need to integrate one more tool here, which is Maven. What is Maven? What Maven will do? Maven is a build tool. Maven is a build tool, right? Yeah. So build tool, or we can say project management tool also. Build tool or project management tool. Build tool or project management tool. Right? So what Maven will do? It generates artifacts. Artifacts. What is artifact? It is a archive file. Archive file, binary file, tar file, jar file, war file, ER file. So Maven takes the raw code and it will convert into artifact, which is an archive file, right? Yeah, once it is converted to artifact, okay. So that artifact, yeah, when we talk about artifact, for example, there is a Java development here. There is a Java development here, right? Java development. In Java development, three types of applications are available. Three types of application developments available, right? First one is desktop application development. Second one is web application development. Third one is enterprise application development, right? So every development activity, every project team, so they work on three developments majorly, okay? So desktop application, web application, enterprise application. In Java or .NET or Python or Ruby or any development activity, okay? Here three types of application developments, okay? So desktop application development. What is desktop application, anyone? Anyone having idea? Desktop application. Anyone having idea? What is desktop application? Desktop application. So the application which we use in our local system. The application which we use in our local system, right? Which is nothing but desktop application. In our local system, we can use that application, which is a desktop application. Understanding, right, everyone? For example, paintbrush, and also calculator. So this application we can use in our local system. My calculator you cannot use. Your calculator I cannot use. In your system, you're using media player or calculator. I cannot use that, right? In my system, I am using desktop application. So which you cannot use in your, you cannot access in your system. right? So that is a desktop application, right? Second one here is web application. So this application we will deploy on servers only. Servers. We can access through internet. This application, web application, we can deploy onto the server. So that we can access through internet, right? So enterprise application. So yeah, millions of requests per second, right? So very core applications, digital applications. Okay. So for example, this Java team, they develop the desktop application. So here, once they develop the desktop application, they push the code to GitHub. So from here, Jenkins take the code, which is raw code. That raw code will be handed over to the Maven. So Maven convert into jar file, Java archive file, right? So Maven convert into jar file, Java archive file, right? If the application is web application, Maven, yeah, it will convert into WAR file, web archive file. If the application team is working on, Java team is working on enterprise application, Maven generates ER file, enterprise archive file. So based on the application development, Maven generates the respective format, either WAR, JAR, or ER. Okay. Once it is generated to WAR file, JAR file, or ER file, next what will happen here? So here, normally most of the organizations, most of the project teams, okay, so they are using either JAR, WAR, or ER. Okay. Not actually, so desktop application, web application, enterprise application. So maybe multiple formats, multiple developments they use. Okay, as per the requirement. So we cannot decide that. Okay, as per the requirement, yeah, project teams, they're working on either WAR or JAR or ER. Fine, understanding right, everyone? Yeah. So here, desktop application, JAR file, web application, WAR file, enterprise application, ER file. For example, Maven generates WAR file, right? So this WAR file will be give back to the Jenkins. Jenkins push that WAR file to respect to Tomcat server. Here we deploy the WAR file. Understanding and everyone. Whatever the WAR file generated by Maven, that WAR file we can, yeah. So that will hand over to Jenkins again. Jenkins push that WAR file to respect to target servers like Tomcat or JBoss or WebLogic or WebSphere. These are all application servers. And we can deploy the WAR file on respect to target server. Clear, right, everyone? So here we are talking about Maven, right? Maven take the raw code and it will convert into WAR file or JAR file or ER file, single file, artifact. Okay. So for example, in your laptop, you have 200 documents, right? I asked you to send those documents to me. How can you send that documents? What the simplest way? What is the simplest way to send those documents to me? How can you send that? Instead of attaching 200 documents to Gmail, what you will do, you can convert into zip file, and that zip file you can attach to the email and send it across, right? Same way, same functionality work in Maven also. So Maven take the raw code, unstructured code, and it will convert into single file as a jar file or WAR file or ER file. That file will be given back to Jenkins. Jenkins push that WAR file to respect to Tomcat server. Here we deploy the WAR file. Clear, right, everyone? Any questions, Andy? Anyone having any questions here? So every project team, every organization, they're using the same process. So developer develop the code in their local Git. Once the development is completed, they push the code to GitHub. Once the code is moved to GitHub, as a DevOps engineer. So our role starts from Jenkins Andy. DevOps role starts from Jenkins, from here, our roles. So Git and GitHub both are developer tools, right? Yeah, once the code is moved to GitHub, so in Jenkins, we prepare the jobs and we run the jobs. We trigger the jobs. How to run the jobs, how to prepare the jobs. So practically, we can work on this while working on Jenkins. I'll show you practically how can we prepare the jobs, how can we pull the code from GitHub to Jenkins, how can we configure the jobs, right? Practically, we can configure this. Fine. Yeah. Now, okay, so here, developer develop the code in their local Git, and DevOps engineers, what they will do, they deploy the application, they pull the code, they push the code, push the war file, and we can deploy here, where the testing will be happen. Okay, so developer develop the code, DevOps engineers, we can automate the activities where the testing will be happen. Okay, let's try to understand here. Yeah, so here, once the code is moved to GitHub, testers, they test the code, right? By using Selenium testing or automation testing, right? So using test cases, they test the code. Every project team, every organization, they maintain some code standards, right? So here, once the code is moved to GitHub, testers, they start testing the code. They start working on the testing part. They fix the errors, hot fixes, issues, duplicate lines, they remove, right? Errors, they remove. They modify again, they fix the issues, right? Yeah, once they test the code, testers, once they work on the testing part, right? Here we have one more tool, which is Sonar code review tool, Andy. Sonar code review tool. Right? Once the testing is completed, Sonar code review tool review the code. So this Sonar code review the code, right? So still any duplicate lines are there, errors are there, hot fixes are there. Sonar code review the code, right? Once it is review the code, it will provide the report. Sonar code review tool provide the report. Once we get the report, right? We means developers only. Sonar tool also developer tool. Git, GitHub, Sonar also developer tool, right? Once they, once we configure the Sonar, once testing is completed, so Sonar review the code. If any duplicate lines are there, hot fixes are there, it will provide the report. Sonar provide the report. So based on the report, testers, they remove the duplicate lines, they test the code, right? They work on the testing part. Fine. Yeah. So here, in live application, this process will be happened. In live application, what are the live applications available in the market? Here we have Flipkart, Amazon shopping site, Myntra, Meesho. These are all live applications. Okay. So live means what will happen here? So no downtime. So on the fly, the applications will be updated. This pricing will be changed. For example, look at this. These are the blankets, right? So they are giving some offer of 70% off, right? Here, some percentage off. Okay. So in live, this pricing will be modified. This product will be modified, right? So developers, what they will do, they modify the code in their local Git. Just a minute. So backend, someone doing something. That is why I'm removing access here. Okay. Just a minute, please. So I gave full access. That is the problem here. Okay. Just a minute, please. No problem, Andy. By mistake, you touch something. Nothing to worry, Andy. Okay, so here recording will be disturbed. That is why. No problem, no problem. No problem. I'm just modifying few features here quickly. Yeah, now can you see my screen, everyone? Is it fine for you now? Right. Is it clear to you, everyone? Fine, fine. Yeah. So here in live application, what will happen? In live application, so here developer develop the code in their local Git, right? So for example, this is a Flipkart application is running, right? So normally, so as a customer, as a user, we can access Flipkart. We can book the product, right? We can check the offers here, right? So here, this product pricing is 898. They're giving 79% off. If they want to give 90% off, for example, right? What they will do, they modify the code in their local Git. Once they modify the code in local Git, they push the code to remote repository, which is GitHub. Once the code is moved to GitHub, yeah, from here, Jenkins pull the code. Jenkins pull the code from GitHub to Jenkins. After that, so here, Jenkins hand over to Maven. So once the testing is completed, Jenkins hand over to Maven. Maven convert into either jar file or war file or ER file as per the requirement. The war file will be give back to Jenkins. Jenkins push that war file to respect to Flipkart server. Here we deploy the war file. Once we deploy the war file, what will happen? This pricing will be changed 90%. This will be changed to 90%. So on the fly, the changes will be happened without any manual intervention. Understanding right, everyone? We don't need to down. We don't need to down the website, right? So on the fly, the changes will be reflected, which is a live application. So we are using non-live applications also. Currently, we are using non-live applications also, right? So what are the non-live applications available? For example, harshatrainings.com. harshatrainings.com. These are the, this is the Harsha Trainings, right? So harshatrainings.com is the non-live application. Non-live application, right? Just a minute. Yeah. So this is a non-live application, right? So in non-live application, we can, just a minute. In non-live application, what will happen? So whatever the war files are generated by Maven, those war files will be pushed to the one more repository, which is Nexus Sunday. One more repository, which is Nexus repo. Nexus repository. Nexus. So Nexus is a repository tool where we store our war files. Here we store the war files, right? So whenever we have release, normally this connectivity, we can give from Jenkins. Okay, just a minute here. Not like this exactly. So this we can directly integrate to the Jenkins. Okay. Yeah. So whatever the war file generated by Maven, those war files we can push to the Nexus. We can store these war files on Nexus. Whenever we have release, so this war files we can push to the respective target server. Here we deploy the war files. Clear, Andy? So this is very, very important process, Andy. Every organization, every project team following currently. In Agile methodology, this CICD is very, very important. In Agile, right? So Agile is the parallel development, right? One application will be divided into bits and pieces. That bits and pieces we can call it as sprint. What is sprint and anyone? Sprint is a timeline. Sprint can be 1 week to 1 month. For example, one sprint started today. By next week, Sunday, by next Sunday EOD, that should be completed, which is a weekly sprint. Monthly sprint, one sprint started today on 10th November. By next month, 9th EOD, that should be completed, which is a monthly sprint. Clear, Andy, everyone? Fine, fine. So these are the tools we are using. Along with this, we have advanced tools also, right? In our sessions, we use advanced tools also. What are those, anyone? Docker. First one is advanced tools, Docker. What is Docker, anyone? Docker is a container tool. Container tool, right? Container. So advanced virtual servers. It's very easier to understand this Docker concepts. Very interesting concepts. Docker, Kubernetes. These are all very interesting concepts. Okay. Yeah. So this is the advanced tool, advanced to servers, Sunday. Containers are advanced to virtual servers, right? Yeah. Next one. Yeah. Second advanced tool here is Kubernetes. Kubernetes is the container orchestration tool. Container orchestration tool, right? So what is orchestration, anyone? What is orchestration? Orchestra and ఏంటండి? Anyone having idea? What is orchestra? Orchestra. Yeah. So music instruments together. Yeah. Different instruments they play, right? Musicians, right? So in the middle of the instruments, one person stands and he move the hands. One person stands and he move the hands. His orchestration. Orchestration is the daemon. So he will control all the instruments, right? So here Kubernetes is the daemon. It will control all the tools, all the servers, right? So these two are very hot in the market, Andy. So if you are good in Docker and Kubernetes, along with this Jenkins, you can easily crack your entry. Okay. So cracking entry is very, very easier, Andy. Okay. Cope up in the projects, right? So a bit difficult. If you practice daily basis, you can easily cope up in the projects. So whatever we discuss in the session, that is enough to you. You can just practice, that's it. Blindly can go and practice. So I'm sure within 3 months, you can easily crack your entry. So how can we cope up in the projects, right? I explain the sessions, every session. So in every session, I explain the tasks. I give you tasks, right? How can we cope up in the project, right? What are the challenges we face? How can we work on the deployments? How can we work on code movement, code merging? So as a DevOps engineer, we don't need to learn any coding part. We don't require any coding background. We don't require any testing background, right? So what we will do as a DevOps engineer, what we will do? We work on integrations, we work on deployments, we work on automation, we work on tickets. These are the activities, right? We don't need to worry about the coding part, Andy. We don't need to worry about the testing part. So coding part will be taken care by developers. Testing part will be taken care by testers, right? So our role starts from Jenkins, from here. Clear, Andy? Yeah. Fine. So these are the very advanced tools, very core tools. Okay, I'll show you the tools which you are going to learn. Okay, so before going to that, I just want to give you the overview here. I want to give the overview. So now next tool here is Ansible, Andy. Ansible is the configuration management tool. Ansible is the configuration management tool, right? So by using Ansible, we can automate the deployments. Fine. Next one, Terraform. Terraform is the infrastructure automation. So we can automate the infrastructure. For example, project team required 100 servers, 100 resources. Within a minute, by using Terraform, we can configure, we can create, right? Yeah, they need additional different versions. Within a minute, we can upgrade the versions. Fine. Yeah. Fine. Here, one more tool, which is Grafana and also Prometheus. So these both are monitoring tools, Andy. Monitoring tools. These two tools are very, very important tools. Monitoring tools. Kubernetes monitoring tools. Fine. So these are the very advanced tools, very core tools. Along with these tools, we are going to learn sec tools, security tools. I'll show you that. Okay. And also AI tools, AI services, right? Fine. So along with this, in our course, shell scripting will be covered. Along with this, Linux also will be covered, right? Along with this, our course is DevSecOps with multi-cloud plus AI, right? So 3 clouds will be covered in our course. What are the clouds? We are going to discuss in our classes: AWS, Azure, and also GCP, Google Cloud Platform. Fine. Yeah. Now go back to, I'll show you the tools we are going to learn in our course. Look at this. So these are the DevOps tools, Andy. These are the DevOps tools: Git, GitHub, Jenkins, Maven, Prometheus, JFrog also will be covered. Helm also will be covered in Kubernetes. SonarQube, Grafana, Argo CD, Docker Swarm, Kubernetes, Docker, Terraform, Ansible. These 4 tools are very core tools. Okay. So along with this, 4 live projects will be covered. 4 live projects. Okay. So along with this, look at this. Security tools. These are the security tools. DevSecOps, right? Our course name is DevSecOps with multi-cloud plus AI. So these are the security tools will be covered in our course. So along with this, AI services. Look at this. AI tools and services. So generative AI, these all will be covered. And also, these are the tools. AI tools will be covered. Fine. And also Linux. Linux will be covered. These are the Linux services. Any questions and anyone? Anyone having any questions, you can ask me. Yeah, so you can take down these numbers. Okay, these are the institute numbers, institute number and my personal number. Please take down everyone. Please take down everyone. Institute number, my personal number. So normally trainers, they never give their personal numbers, right? So we provide our number. From Harsha Trainings, we provide our number. Okay. You can take down this. Yeah, someone raising the hand here. I give unmute. Yeah, you can ask your question, Andy.
Hi, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
Hi.
do you cover RBAC concept in security?
Yes. That will be covered.
It is also.
Yes.
Okay.
Covered.
Okay.
Will be covered. Yes.
Okay, sir. IAM also will be in depth, right? Like,
Yeah. IAM is
if
very core service, Andy. In AWS, IAM is very
Mm.
core service. Will go very deep dive, Andy.
Okay, sure, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Sir, one last question. Will this help me to pursue GCP certification?
Yeah. I'll guide you. Definitely.
Okay.
I'll guide you how
Okay.
to clear the exam. So if you need any support, also I provide you the support. Okay. To
Sure,
clear
sir.
the exam.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Fine. Yeah, Vishnu, you can ask your question.
Sorry, this is regarding the files that we provide for GitHub, sir. So, I'm from Pega background, so we do provide jar itself to the Git repo. So, in such scenarios, Maven is not required all times. That when the build is
Yes, Andy. Yes, definitely. While working on Git and GitHub, we'll go different scenarios we have, Andy. Definitely, I explain.
Oh,
We
okay,
have
sure.
multiple scenarios. I explain definitely. Yes.
Thanks, sir.
Fine. Andy. Any other questions? Anyone? Yeah, please take down these numbers, institute number and my number. Okay. So here, look at this, everyone. So we provide you daily recordings. These recordings will be 1 year access. You can access 1 year. FAQs, frequently asked questions, right? Supporting documents. So I provide you every concept document, Andy. Theory documents. Okay. So daily one document will be uploaded to Google Classroom. So there is a Google Classroom. From Google Classroom, you can download the documents. Okay. And the sample projects. Yeah, I explain some projects. I give you some projects. Okay. Resume support. I prepare your resume. And technical support. So every batch is having group Andy. Okay. While practicing, if you are facing any issues, you can take the screenshot and post into the group. So that I give you solution. If anyone already practiced, they can also give the solution. Okay. Certification support. So I guide you how to clear the exam. So you can easily clear the exam, or else I give you some support to clear the exam. Okay. Placement support. So placement support is, yeah, whatever until you get the job. So whatever guidance you required, right? Definitely. So we'll refer some companies. Okay. We'll provide some jobs you can apply. How to apply the jobs? How can we crack the interviews? Right. So definitely, I give you support. When Arif asking question here. Yeah, Arif, you can ask your question. I'm giving unmute here. Yeah, go ahead, please, Arif.
Sir, I have always heard that for getting a job in DevOps, we need to have some experience in it. So as a fresher, will we be able to get any jobs? Like
Yeah. So in my last batch, people, freshers, nearly 9 to 10 members freshers. Okay. So in which in 9 to 10 members, 7 members, they crack the entry within the 3 months. So our course duration is 100 days to 110 days, right?
yes, sir.
So within the 100 days, 7 members crack the interview. So freshers also having jobs, Andy. Nothing to worry. Freshers also having jobs. Yes. Okay.
There's one more question, sir. I mean, I just wanted to ask. So, what's the basic package we will be getting as a fresher, sir?
It depends, Andy, company to company. So one of the student in previous batch student, he got 5.8 LPA. Okay.
Okay.
And one more guy 4.3. Like that depends company to company. We need to bargain. Bargain means negotiate. We need to negotiate properly. Definitely will get that, Andy. Okay, I'll guide you how to speak in the calls, right? How can we present our skill sets, right? How can we negotiate the packages? This all will be covered, Andy. Nothing to worry. I explain that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Fine. Any more questions, Andy? Anyone? Fine. So tomorrow onwards, regular sessions will be started, Andy. So we already completed 4 sessions. Okay. So tomorrow onwards, regular sessions will be started. So make sure everyone register if you're interested. Yeah, once you register, you'll be added to the WhatsApp group. Okay. We'll provide you documents. Tomorrow onwards, I'll provide you documentation. I upload into Google Classroom the documents. You can download from the Google Classroom. So tomorrow we are going to start servers and networks basics. So before going to start working on cloud platform, first we need to understand servers networks basics. For every session, I provide you document from tomorrow onwards. Okay. So you will get the recording sessions, whatever the sessions we completed so far. These are the demo sessions, introductions. So tomorrow onwards, regular sessions will be started. So make sure everyone register, and you can add into, we will add into WhatsApp group and also Google Classroom, so that you will get the documents every day, and you can start working on the services, right? Yeah, you make sure you can prepare your laptop. Okay. So from Thursday onwards, you need to prepare your laptop for practice. From Thursday onwards, Andy, Mahesh. Thursday onwards, practice needed. Thursday. So tomorrow, day after, we will work on basics and servers networks basics. Okay. So tomorrow will be very interesting session, important session. So make sure everyone attend tomorrow. So link will be changed very soon. If you are interested, you can register as soon as possible. Okay. So once you make the fee, you can share the screenshot to me or else our admin. They will add into WhatsApp group. Fine. Sec tools services. Yeah, security tools we discussed right here. Mamata garu. These are the security tools, Andy. Fine. Yeah. So tomorrow will be sharp. Yeah, tomorrow will start at sharp 8 p.m. IST and end up by 9 p.m. IST. So here, once we start working on AWS, sometimes 15-20 minutes we will stretch the session, Andy. Okay, not exactly 1 hour. Sometimes 15-20 minutes class will be stretched. Okay, so it will sometimes, not every day. Okay, so once we start working on DevOps tools, sometimes weekend also, Saturdays also, I will cover. Right? Yeah, so Macharla Ayappa asking some question here. How can we find jar ER application? So definitely I'll show you, Andy. While working on the tools, while working on the Git and Jenkins, so definitely I'll show you. So wait for a few sessions. Okay, practical we can check that. Okay. Fine, clear, right, everyone? So take down my number and other number, institute number. So if you have any more questions, you can reach out to me, or else you can reach out to our admin. Fine. So he will give you all the information, full information about the course, and the course content I'll share with you if you want to, right? If you need that, so definitely you can ask me, I'll share with you. So tomorrow onwards, regular sessions will be started. Okay. If you're interested, you can register as soon as possible, Andy. Fine. Yeah, we can stop here. Yeah, we can stop here. Tomorrow we'll start servers, networks, basics, Andy. Fine. Yeah. Thank you all.